When I was a child, I believed the world to be a place of fairy tales. I thought that in a faraway land, there were fire-breathing dragons scorching the land with fiery vengeance, and that there were princes and princesses overcoming obstacles to find true love. Growing up, we all came to realize fairy tales were just that. They were fairy tales. We realized that those dragons destroying our lands, they were intolerance, lost dreams, and broken hearts. We came to understand that a cure for our problems were not always achievable, especially not by the means of a magic wand. We came to understand that this moment would change us forever. It was a moment none of us would ever forget, where our childhood lost its innocence, only to be replaced by the crushing practicality of the world. This realization, although huge, has not been nearly as impactful as my thoughts leading to this point. These thoughts are crucial to my understanding and acceptance of our world. I came to realize that I could either let the world push me down and jade me, or I could play the part of a hero, and I could work hard to overcome my own obstacles. I came to understand just because the world was a new, dark, and foreboding place did not mean that I should play the equivalent character. We have a chance today to be something different, to make a difference. To really make a difference, we must have courage. The courage to imagine something new, the courage to act, and the courage to persist through setbacks. We all recognize those leaders whose dramatic actions have changed our world, whether that be Nelson Mandela, Gandhi, or Mother Teresa. But sometimes courage isn't the big actions, but it's the little ones. It's often the quiet, determined, everyday actions. Those that happen at school, at work, at home. It's the courage to say I'm sorry when you've been wronged, and the courage to say sorry when you've wronged someone else. The courage to join a cause you believe in, and the courage to do all you can to help it succeed. But most importantly, and probably the most difficult, it's the courage to be introspective and honest with yourself. The courage to be yourself. Those 5 simple words are much easier said than done. Learning how to love and celebrate yourself is one of the most crucial and difficult aspects of life. It's the first step in enlightenment and critical for happiness. It sounds so superficial, yet discovering and accepting who you are and who you're meant to be not only requires self-analysis, but also a willingness to submerge yourself in your own darkness. And as you approach this task with complete authenticity, it's terrifying and really daunting. And it's definitely not for the faint-hearted. It's easy and it's natural for fear to creep in. But for the courageous who face that fear head-on, they will succeed. The courageous will succeed in not only finding themselves, but in learning how to love themselves. So the daunting task doesn't just end there. If you know who you are, but you're constantly looking for the empty approvals of others, you'll be forever lost and unable to find true happiness. Although finding yourself can be overwhelming, the true challenge lies in being able to bare yourself to the world and just let it be. Recognizing your strengths and being able to work with and on your weaknesses. I'm loud. I don't think anybody here would disagree with that. And being loud can be a strength, but it also can be a weakness. Sometimes I'm abrasive and it comes off as cocky or uncaring and kind of rude sometimes. And it's not okay for me to step back and say that, oh, it's okay, it's myself. It's those things, it's the weaknesses that we have to work on. Loving yourself is not putting yourself up on a pedestal. It's about humbling yourself. It's refreshing. It's deciding for yourself what you like and don't like about yourself. The big point of that rather grandiose statement is the you. So it's a decision that you need to make alone. It sounds easy, but it's incredibly difficult to actually think for ourselves, especially when you consider what we believed in the past. 12th century, people thought celery would kill you, and then in the 16th century, tomatoes were considered poisonous. And we all know what happened when Galileo proposed that the Earth actually revolved around the sun. Just in case you didn't pay attention in physics class, he was almost killed by the Catholic Church. Anyway, so these are just simple examples of the many examples of ideas that were honestly but naively held by our ancestors. My point here is that you need to think for yourself, realize and examine your own prejudices, ideas, and beliefs. Don't think for a moment that hiding yourself is worth some flippant praise that society is going to throw at you. Instead, learn that being you is way more important than the people who want you to be someone else. I'm not perfect. I'm actually really weird. I don't like eating raisins because they remind me of like eating old people. And I'm really OCD about collecting the little mini shampoo bottles from hotels. Like I have a whole drawer of them. self-doubt and insecurities of sometimes letting society dictate my own worth. I refer to this task as a task, the task of loving yourself. But it's so much more than that. It's a decision. It's a decision that you make every day. It's a series of decisions. And it's a decision I make every day. I've learned that what other people think of me is not even close to as important as my own self-value. You don't owe the quality of your life to somebody else. Only when you love yourself can you find true happiness and be the best version of you. And this best version will find success and happiness. You'll find that being different, being weird, is actually a gift. Find what makes you unique and run with it. Running with your uniqueness is not always going to be gumdrops and roses. There are going to be times when you're going to feel abandoned, isolated, and alienated. But you can combat those with surrounding yourself with people who bring out your strengths and remind you of just how truly beautiful you are. And you know what? There are going to be people who tear you down, but you don't need to condemn them. Instead, be merciful and extend grace. The world could use a little bit more love, understanding, and forgiveness. I challenge everyone here today to be a bit more reflective and more introspective. Give yourself a hard look in the mirror and decide what you like most about yourself and what you still need to work on. I challenge all of you to learn, if you haven't already, what it means to love yourself. By embracing self-empowerment, you gain confidence and a belief that you matter and can make a mark on this world. You gain compassion and empathy. You find how to love and be loved. And most importantly, you live the life you were meant to live. I don't think any talk is complete without a Harry Potter reference, so I'll leave you with this. Be a Luna Lovegood, not a Pansy Parkinson. Be a little strange, off kilter, and not so desperate to be popular. Strive for legitimacy and curb what makes you active. Find meaningful relationships and not just with those that you predetermined. Be willing to be weird. Be courageous. Embark on the discovery to find what makes you, you. Thank you.